with her daughter Lori French by her side. Her son Rodney Weeks and wife Kathy were able to be there utilizing technology. She was born on April 8, 1936, in Ottumwa, Iowa, to Carl and Elvira Ellis. Marilyn was known for her compassion for others and infectious laughter. Marilyn met Raymond Weeks while attending Ottumwa High School. Soon after their graduation, they were married on June 13, 1954. They had 3 children, Debbie, Rodney, and Lori, who grew up surrounded by love, laughter, and many gatherings with a large extended family, playing cribbage, board games, music, and dancing. Education was important to Marilyn, and she pursued a career in nursing. She became an LPN in 1963 and worked in a hospital, a doctor's office, and nursing homes. Marilyn became an RN in 1991 at the age of 55. She loved working as a hospice nurse, providing comfort, care, and compassion for her patients and their families. She received lovely angels from several families and grew quite the collection. When Marilyn retired from nursing, she moved to Columbia, Missouri, where she enjoyed golfing, sewing, gardening, playing cribbage, photography, walking her puppies, and snuggling with her kitties. However, full retirement was not in the cards yet. Marilyn was known as a good stick during her entire nursing career, so she became the phlebotomist. Now, not thinking about phlebotomist, a person being, I had to look up and see what good stick meant. I wondered, what in the world is she doing with a good stick? So I looked it up. And I found it pretty interesting. Next time I see a phlebotomist, I can call her Mrs. Vampire, Count Dracula, or Blood Whisperer. Now, these nicknames were supposed to be humorous and not offensive. And so I'm so glad I learned what good stick is. After another 5 years of work, she fully retired at the age of 75. Marilyn always inspired her family with love, devotion, kindness, and compassion for us and towards others. Marilyn is survived by her brother, Darrell, Carolyn Ellis, and sister Julie Ellis, both of Agency, Iowa, sister-in-law Marcia Ellis of Ottawa, Illinois, son Rodney, Kathy Weeks of Parker, Colorado, daughter Lori French of Columbia, Missouri, and son-in-law Gary Donegan of Tucson, Arizona. 7 grandchildren, Brianne Holliger, Kyle and Keith Donegan, Heidi Larry Barella, Cooper Courtney Weeks, Jason Stephanie Robertson, and Lynn Peterson. 8 great-grandchildren, Dominic and Davis DeCantio, Kennedy and Pryor Weeks, Kyle and Sadie Robertson, Elijah and Olive Peterson. Marilyn was preceded in death by her parents, former husband Raymond Rex Weeks, brother Dwayne Ellis, daughter Debbie Ray Donegan, and great-granddaughter Acacia Hinkle. So now we're going to have a song that's called Roses by Andrew Ripp. Rod and Lori, excuse me, Rod and Lori gave me a couple of stories to tell about their mother, so I will show that right now. Her new home in Ottumwa continued being a gathering place for the Weeks relatives. With this move and new location, the dual lap dog tradition began. Marilyn simply loved having these little ones around to raise, train, love, nurture, and care for, with some being rescue dogs. Taffy and Stroder were the first pair. It was always good for the heart to watch Mom during training. She would act all tough and serious as needed, and then routinely, within minutes, she would have them on her lap, smiling and laughing and playing. It was so her. The next decade included all three children leaving the nest, off to nursing school, the Air Force, and college. Marilyn continued taking care of the house and caring for Ray and his younger brother, Gary, with special needs, and working at the senior living home as night shift charge nurse. Her new lapdog duo was Mickey and Mandy, miniature schnauzers, so wonderfully energetic. While holding positions of nurse and lead nurse, she also decided to take up golf. She liked playing with some girlfriends in a women's league at the Cedar Creek public golf course, but loved playing with her granddaughter, Brianne, every time she would visit. One highlight was being able to play 4 different courses over 5 days with her husband, son, and daughter-in-law in Maui, and the ocean view almost every hole. Another time on one of their trips to Colorado, during a golf outing with her granddaughter, daughter, and son, on one of the tee boxes, about 20 to 30 feet away, a bull snake started slithering toward the group. We all just stood there watching until Mom takes her golf club down toward the snake, swinging and hitting it at the ground and stomping and yelling, and chased it away. Such a great memory. That night, that snake was not going to ruin one day of golfing for them. The next decade was bumpy as she and Ray divorced, remarried, and divorced again. During this time, she worked as a hospice nurse in which she thrived. It was in her soul to care for these people and provide her with deep satisfaction. She retired from nursing and moved to Columbia, Missouri in 2005 and moved in with daughter Lori and granddaughter Brianne. She embraced retirement by doing her favorite things, including golfing, sewing, gardening, playing cribbage, and board games, photography, walking her puppies, snuggling with her kitties, and attending church. She loved being a part of her church. She and Lori and Brianne enjoyed attending church and their activities. Being strong and independent since her teen years, she decided she needed to move into an apartment on her own at the age of 81. She had her final duo of puppies, Harley and Jackson, and at this time, and loved life. In 2022, her balance declined, her strength declined, her hearing declined, and in December, she moved into the Bluffs Skilled Nursing Facility. She had visited the facility periodically when she was working and preferred living there when the time came, if possible. Over the next 2 years, she had many good days and some bad days. When she contracted both double pneumonia in December 2024 and COVID in January 2025, her body simply could not recover. And when her daughter, Debbie, passed away on January 16th, Mom's heart was broke. She passed away early on February 19th, 2025. And now we're going to hear another song, When We Fall Apart, by Ryan Stevenson. And then the family's going to come up and enjoy, but I'll introduce you. Lori would like to come and share a few memories with all of you.
It may look like I'm making a mess, but this, my friends, is called a trail of tissue turds. So I'm going to tell you about Mom and her tissue turds. When Mom moved in with me and Brianne, at some point, Brianne just declared, "Grandma is leaving tissue turds everywhere." And it stuck, and it became a family funny. And unfortunately, Brianne does it more than I do, but, I did leave a couple in the pew, okay. Pointing it out, I see you, okay. So, yesterday, when Rod and I were here at Reese, we were leaving the office, and I just looked back to see if I'd forgotten anything, my water, purse, whatever. And there, behind my chair, was a tissue turd. And without missing a beat, Rod said, "Well, Mom's been here with us today." Yeah. So we laughed, and we knew that to be true. Now, I want to talk about Mom in sports. She loved sports. It was very important. We didn't actually go out to games, but we would tailgate at home. And so there would always be fun food, not necessarily made at home. We'd go out, we'd buy stuff, bring it in. She knew teams, all kinds of teams. I didn't keep up, but she knew the players, the coaches, who was traded from who and where, and she would have fun discussions with Rod and anyone else who was interested in sports, really. So in more recent years, we focused on the Kansas City Chiefs and the Mizzou Tigers. And it was a real delight for her to see the Chicago Cubs, her Cubbies, win the World Series in her lifetime. And on a more personal note, when I was in the 8th grade, I had a summer softball league. And that summer, Dad coached our team. Rod was just home from the Air Force, and he was the assistant coach. So, all the girls were in love with my brother. And Mom was our scorekeeper. I mean, what a lucky girl I was. It was great. Not a lot on Mom and music, however. At age 75, we got her to her first concert, live concert in Columbia, Missouri. It was Reba McEntire and George Strait. And 75 years old, we did not get there early. And for whatever reason, we actually had to climb over chairs to get into our seats. And she was pretty spry. Girlfriend did it. She did it. We helped. It was great. But she loved that. She loved dancing and all of that. But that was her first and last live concert. Mom and travel. She loved to travel. I remember when I was very young, she and Dad, I have no idea what year, but they took an anniversary trip to San Padre Island down in Texas. And she told me when she got back that it was the most beautiful place she had ever seen. Other travel, Mom and Debbie and I took a couple of trips together. We went to the Bahamas. So much fun, so much laughter, too much drinking, lots of cribbage. And while we were there, I'm afraid of heights. I'm just saying, Mom bullied me into parasailing, okay, truly. And it paid off. I mean, it was so peaceful, and I felt so close to God. But going up and coming down, I was screaming. So there was a little difference there in altitude. And I'm very thankful that she forced me into doing something I didn't want to do, and I've done it a couple times since. So We also went to the south of France, Debbie, Mom, and I. We went into wonderful places, got to explore many things, and we took one of those fast trains from the south of France up to Paris. And we walked most of it. I think we rode in a cab once. So we walked Paris. And one night, when we had just finished with the Louvre, it was dark. And coming through, I mean, cars can drive into the Louvre area, if anyone's been there. And there was sirens going on, and 4 or 5 bobbies, the police cars there, you know. And they've got this really cute siren. It doesn't sound serious at all, right? So they're like streaming in, and Mom and I are like, oh, wow, you know. And Deb, of course, she was like, hey, we got to get the hell out of here. Something's happening. Gotta go. So, so we left. Let me see. Mom also made a few trips to Alaska when I was stationed there in the Air Force. The first time she came with Debbie and baby Kyle, and the second visit was when Dad came with her, and he played in the Midnight Sun golf tournament there in Anchorage. Of course, he won a few prizes. And then also, Mom came to visit when Brianne was born, and she stayed for a few weeks. So that was so wonderful. I mean, who makes that many trips to Alaska? Come on. And also, more recently, she and I made trips to Iowa. In 2022, we went to Aunt Madeline's 90th birthday party up in the Des Moines area. And in 2023, we went to the cousins reunion, and Deb came with us. Rod was there too with Kath, but me and Mom and Deb made that trip up there. And I don't know, it was a week or so probably after our last trip, and I was cutting Mom's hair in her kitchen, and I just was asking her random questions, and I asked her what her favorite vacation was, you know, because she'd been some places, done some things, been to Hawaii with Rod, you know, and Kath, and kind of prompted her, because she said, I don't know, she kind of thought a little bit. So I reminded her of some of the vacations, and she said, no, I think my favorites have been the recent ones to Iowa to see my family. So that made sense. Mom and family. Mom loved her family deeply, warmly, and protectively. She loved to explore the beauty of this world that God created. She enjoyed taking pictures of a single raindrop on her tomato plants, the first leaf that changed color in the fall amongst this huge green tree. She saw the small details and delighted in them. She loved playing her cribbage, laughter, her puppies and her kitties and her family. Having Mom in Columbia was such an honor and a blessing in my life. While I was going through a few totes, gathering some things last week or so, I came across a piece of paper, random piece of paper. And on one side, Debbie's handwriting, and she wrote down, how would you like your funeral service to go? And so Mom told her some things, and you're seeing a lot of that happening today. And then on the back side, it appears to be something Debbie wanted to say at a time like this. A special bond between Mom and myself for always. Strong and deep love. Love that is the hope and happiness we find in one another. Lifetime bond, love, understanding we share. And she will always remember Mom. Loving, generous, kind, always giving, and to others before herself. I thought that was a treasure. You know, early in this year, many of us have experienced loss, and I've had some of my darkest hours during this time. And I think that our family has been hit hard, also losing Cousin Marty and Aunt Madeline. Last year was hard, heart-wrenching watching Deb and Mom lose their bodily strength. But God has blessed me with peace and comfort, knowing that Mom and Deb are in the presence of God the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. And I can imagine them being even better than they once were, healthy, strong, laughing out loud, and holding each other as they sing praises to God. I was certainly blessed to have Mom for the last 19 years of her life, but truly all of my lifetime. And now I think Brianne would like to come up and say a few words.
Oh, boy. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's so wonderful to see so much family and so many friends. I'm Brianne. I'm Lori's daughter and Marilyn's granddaughter. And I had the unique pleasure of getting to live with Grandma through some very formative years as a young adult. Grandma came to live with us when I was in junior high, and after she moved in, it became very clear very quickly that there were now 3 independent women in the house who each believed that they were the one in charge. We like to refer to ourselves as 3 chiefs. Between the 3 of us, there was always 3 ways to do something. All 3 of them were the right way, and all 3 of them were arguably the only way. Grandma was a steady presence in my life, and long before the 3 chiefs were established, Grandma helped me find a love for golf. And for those who play, you know that golf is a very challenging sport. Grandma always reminded me and my internal perfectionist that golf is about having fun, not about being perfect. Many summers were spent patiently teaching me the game, often at the butt crack of dawn. Sometimes it was just the 2 of us sneaking onto the back 9, and other times we got to play with her hilarious group of friends, the ones in the ladies' league. In the afternoons, we would play a few rounds of cribbage and find something to try, a new recipe in the kitchen. I attribute a lot of my personality, my vocabulary, my sense of humor to Grandma. Playing hundreds of rounds of cribbage over the years introduced the invaluable skill that is smack talk. A quick wit and a dry humor ended up coming in handy in my professional years in DC. Learned that pretty quick. And coming home for the holidays always meant that the 3 of us would gather around the table and play as many games as we could fit in. Sometimes we'd play until the absolute last minute before I needed to be back at the airport to catch a flight back to the East Coast. And more often than not, her seat would be hot the entire week that I was home. And Mom and I would be super lucky if we got to get even a single win in. The 3 of us chiefs had a good time, though. Between our terrible math skills and being easily distracted, there were always plenty of belly laughs to be had. Games that required a call to Uncle Rod were usually because one of us miraculously got a count of 30, and we needed help making sense of that. Yeah. Reminders of those curious moments would often have us cackling for days. All this to say, I feel very lucky to have had her in my life for so many years. There's something so special about the relationship between a grandparent and a grandchild. So many things that only a grandparent can teach, family recipes and stories that are passed down and will be cherished forever. I miss her a lot, but I am eternally grateful for all the memories, all the love, and all the laughter that we shared. Thanks. I will take care of these.
I may have to wear glasses. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's much better. we're gonna go this way. Well, I've tried this several different ways, and reading seems to be the best way for me to get through the whole thing. So I think that's what I'm gonna probably focus on doing. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so very much for being here. To celebrate the life of someone so special, my mom, Marilyn. It's not easy to sum up a life, especially one as full and beautiful as hers. But I can tell you this, she was compassionate, nurturing, loving, strong, independent, responsible, and deeply caring. She had a great sense of humor and an incredible ability to stay calm and grounded no matter what came her way. She was a good mom, a good friend, and an inspiration. Marilyn was someone who didn't just dream, she worked. After having 2 children, she became a licensed practical nurse. After her 3rd child, she went on to become a registered nurse. I still picture her sitting at her small desk late at night, studying, focused, thorough, and determined. That image stuck with me. And when I later pursued my own education, I found myself mimicking her quiet discipline. She showed me what hard work really looked like. You know, at this time when we lived in the trailer, after she got Debbie and I to bed, and Dad was out watching some TV, she would head to the desk and doing her studies. And occasionally, I would get up and sneak down there and just stand there beside the desk and watch her do the studying after the days that she put in. And left-handed cursive, okay, I'm gonna try to hold. Left-handed cursive stands out. It was so meaningful in how she accomplished what she accomplished. Textbook, lamp, and her thick notebook was the only thing that would fit on this little bitty desk. And she allowed me, she didn't get mad or anything, I just went in there and I just stood by her and just watched. And it just struck me and stood with me. And she was able to pull off the entire get through, get the education, get the designations, and still be right there taking care of us. Conversations with her over the years always included how proud she was of her daughter, Debbie, when she became an RN, and her granddaughter, Heidi, when she became an RN. And talking with both Debbie and Heidi, they both shared that Grandma, was an inspiration and a big influence in them deciding on nursing as a career. Mom poured her heart into her work. Nursing wasn't just her career, it was an extension of who she was. Whether she was working in a doctor's office, a hospital, a senior care center, in hospice care, or even as a phlebotomist, she brought compassion, steadiness, and warmth to every patient she cared for. And while she was an outstanding nurse, she was also so much more. She loved, as you have heard, golfing, gardening, photography, poetry, playing cribbage, going to church, and spending time with family. This family. And when it came to cribbage, don't let that sweet exterior fool you. You heard a little bit of this. She was fiercely competitive. I remember a visit where she beat me in 7 straight games over a few days. Right? You can believe that. Yeah. So instead of letting me off easy, she would, from the table, jump up, did a happy dance, laughed with pure joy. Let's call your sisters. That was my mom. She was a mix of grace, grit, and a playful spirit. She was also a fantastic cook. Her beef tips and noodles with mashed potatoes, still my favorite meal to this day. But let's be honest, back in the day, there was a catch. Alongside the deliciousness came either Brussels sprouts or slimy spinach. Not optional. The rule was you cleaned your plate before getting seconds or leaving the table. I still remember sitting there forever, staring at those vegetables, even falling asleep at the table once. But she held the line, kindly, consistently, and without ever raising her voice. As you said, you shouldn't have to.
I had a different experience.
Oh, I know. And having a mom who was a skilled nurse definitely had its benefits, especially when you were a kid who sometimes made questionable decisions. Like at the end of my 7th grade, when a few friends and I went on a camping trip. It was close enough to ride our bikes, backpacks and sleeping bags. 7th grade. We thought it'd be fun to help our campfire along with a little gasoline. Boy Scout gasoline. So we went this way this time, but that wasn't quite thrilling enough. As it got dark, someone had the bright idea to put the gas on our bike tires and ride them through the fire, literally. And then, when the tires were lit, we just raced as fast as we could until the flames died out. So on my 3rd ride, this was fun up till now, on my 3rd ride, my pant leg caught on fire. I slammed on the brakes, jumped off the bike, started running, yelling, "This is not good, this is not good, this is bad, this is bad." My friends tackled me, they put the fire out with dirt, and I look back at this and going, whatever happened to stop, drop, and roll? It's great when you learn it, but when it's happening, I'm gonna be running and feed that fire. So one of the guys, they biked to my house, and they came back with my dad. And I'm just leaving the next short part out. And then, so then when we got home, Mom took over. No panic, no yelling. She knew exactly what to do. And for 6 weeks, she changed my bandages, treated my burns, nursed me back to perfect health. And during that whole time, she only asked me once, with a little smile, "So you probably won't be doing that again, huh?" That was my mom. Calm in crisis, gentle in correction, and always there with love and care, no matter what mess I'd gotten myself into. She also had a strong belief in doing things right. Among 3, I didn't realize that so much, but always doing it right. And she always wanted to do them now, not later. The saying of, put off till tomorrow, no, let's get it done today. When I'd visit her, there was always a to-do list, usually around 8 items. But by the time I left, it had magically grown to 20. She was thorough, persistent, and she somehow always had a plan. It's like she had this little list over here. We'll see how he does. What I think about most is how she carried all of her strength with kindness. I honestly can't remember a time she ever raised her voice to me. Her way of leading was quiet but powerful. She didn't need to shout. Her love and example spoke louder than words ever could. She taught me how to live with purpose, how to work hard, how to laugh, how to be strong without being harsh. Her legacy isn't just in her nursing or in the meals she made or the games she won. It's in how she made people feel loved, safe, and valued. So in closing, a couple of personal acknowledgments. Aunt Alice, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank you so very much for your time and your effort in helping Mom combine all of those family movies. You will never know, oh, this is hard. You will never know how priceless it is listening to hours of Mom narrating and laughing through decades of old film with the cast of those films. Yep, there they are. Yeah, that's pretty much them on so many of them being in this room. Thank you. And Lori, although we agree that I was Mom's favorite son, okay, I was our only son, but favorite son, Mom routinely shared with me how much she relied on you and depended on you. And she didn't know what she would do sometimes without you. I will forever be grateful for you inviting her into your home, letting her live with you for as long as she wanted to, as long as she was able to, unconditionally caring for her, loving her. And we both know where you got that from, right? And simply being her best friend. You are undisputedly Mom's favorite. I miss her every day, but I carry her with me in everything I do, in the way I work, the way I treat others, and every time I eat beef tips and noodles with mashed potatoes. But now, as an adult, even with Brussels sprouts and spinach. Go figure. Thank you, Mom, for everything. I love you.
Well, Rodney, if you ever come to visit me, I'll know what to feed you. Now, Lori and Rodney have asked me to open it to any of you that would like to share some memories with the family. Now's the time. She left them up here.
I'm Aunt Alice, sister to Marilyn. I want to tell you I have four of the most beautiful women in my life, and I can't recall how old I was before I knew how to differentiate a sister from a sister-in-law. But anyway, they were all sisters. Marilyn was such a inspiration in so many things. But what I especially now, I try to understand how on earth every weekend, pretty much this herd of people would come into their home. Who? And how on earth did she do that? She was the most receptive and caring and all of that. And I just have to tell you how much I've grown more and more and more to appreciate that. I love you so much, and I just loved her. It's going to be difficult to be without her.
Anyone else like to share? Another thing about Brussels sprouts, Rodney. One day I had Brussels sprouts, and you know how the smell they leave? And then we had the plumber come in with a helper. I was so embarrassed. If you're going to have company, don't have Brussels sprouts. Well, we're going to hear another song, a great old song. It's called Amazing Grace. And then I have just one more little thing to say. just going to talk briefly about Psalms 23, line by line. And we all know it. The Lord is my shepherd. Excuse me. All of a sudden, my throat is not wanting to cooperate here. The Lord is my shepherd. That's relationship. I shall not want. He supplies. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He gives us rest. He leads me beside quiet waters. That's refreshment. He restores my soul. That's healing. He guides me in paths of righteousness. That's guidance. For his name's sake, that's purpose. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, he tests us. It's testing. I will fear no evil. That's protection. For you are with me, his faithfulness. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. That's discipline. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. That's hope. You anoint my head with oil. That's consecration. My cup overflows. That's abundance. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. That's blessing. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord. That's security. Forever. That's eternity. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for being our shepherd. I trust in your loving guidance and protection. As you lead us beside the still waters and into green pastures, may our soul find rest and be refreshed. Even when we walk through dark valleys, I trust that you present and your comfort will guide us. May our cup overflow with your goodness and mercy, and may we dwell in the house of the Lord forever. May your love and comforting spirit surround the family as they begin to continue this new era without their mother, grandmother, aunt, sister, whatever else she could be through the years to many folk. We ask you this in Jesus' name, amen. Rod and Lori has provided a reception for all of you, and they want to invite you all over to the Bridge Center. And the easiest way to get there, for you that are not familiar with this area, take a right as you leave the parking lot and go to the end of the hill. Now, I think that's closed, isn't it? So you can't do that. So let's do a reroute. When you leave Reese's, take an immediate left, go down there to that street. I've been here 21 years and I still don't know the streets. So if you get there, fine. But seriously, if you can believe it, go down to whatever that street is. If you go beyond that, you're in trouble. Take a right. The next stop sign is called Jefferson Street, okay? Take a left. Go over the bridge, and you will see the Bridge Center to the right. When you get to the bottom of the hill, you know what to do. You take a right, and then you take another right, and you're there. So, may God bless you, and thank you. I know the family has said it, and I'm going to say it for them too. They thank you for being here, and God bless all of you for coming, some of you quite far. So It's very much appreciated. And I've had fun. We have been working on this since February. So I told them, I feel like I'm one of our bosom buddies. So anyway, thank you for coming, and you want anything else said? Okay.